Yo, people, welcome to For a Different Lens podcast. It is just me today, Joe MBT. Jacob and Dej, they're not speaking to me. They are not speaking to me. I thought we were boys. I thought we were brothers. But my my brain is telling me that it is because my team, the Kansas City Chiefs, are the only team and out of us three that hasn't got a winning record right now. So there was something along the lines of only winners speak to winners and all this jazz, as the Panthers are now 6-5, Jacob's team, and the Bills are now 7-3, Deji's team. The Chiefs are 5-5, my team. And do you know what? Today I thought about this long and hard. I was like, and even after the Chiefs Broncos game, I was so pissed off because I was like, nah, like, check my Twitter, Joe MBT. I was like, the Chiefs coaching staff, blah, blah, blah. Like, not excusing Mahomes or anything, but the defense don't make enough like game-changing plays. Mahomes wasn't good enough. And then I thought, do you know what? On this solo recording, I am going to proudly wear 15 Patrick Mahomes' jersey, my Kansas City Chiefs jersey, because I'm not going to leave my team. I'm not going to strand them, put them to the side. No, they need my support. Chiefs Kingdom, they need our support. It's tough, can't lie. And it's looking like for the first time in the Mahomes era, we're not going to win the AFC West. However, the playoffs is still in play. Obviously, we've got to go on a fantastic run to finish the season with 7 games remaining, with the Colts up next, who are one of the best teams in the AFC right now. But Chiefs Kingdom, our support is needed for our superb team, the team that have given us so much joy over the last how many years? We've got to support them now. Their time in need, if anything. It's because, do you know what? Let me not go that far because it's not a crisis. We're still at, 500 and there's still games to be played. The NFL every week has been very different in that sense. But it's not time for us to, jump on the team like the rest of the media and stuff like that. Because do you know what? It's natural as fans, especially the way we've been spoiled since Mahomes has come into the league. We expect just natural greatness from him, coaching staff, the team. We just expect a great winning record. Do you know what I mean? Not just a winning record, a great winning record. That might not be the case this season. However, like I stated a few minutes ago, the playoffs is still in play and we have to get there. Because if and when we get there, speaking it into existence, teams aren't going to want to face us. And they can't use the narrative of, the Chiefs, they'll be on the road every single game. We won the Super Bowl 2 years ago. We beat the Dolphins at home, freezing temperature weather. We then went to Buffalo, Highmark. We won there. We then went to Baltimore, AFC Championship. We won there. And then we beat the 49ers in the Super Bowl. So winning on the road in the playoffs is not a problem for this team. As much as they're used to playing at home, playing the AFC Championship game majority of the time at Arrowhead. In fact, 6 of the last 7 years. Yes. And obviously making 5 Super Bowls and winning 3 Super Bowls. Have to remind our haters. But we're in a bit of a pickle. And it's time to address that pickle. Do you know, I'm meant to be doing game-by-game analysis, but I said I'm going to start off. And I usually don't like starting off with the Chiefs because usually we're winning. But it's not the same. And you know what? Before I delve into the Chiefs, I will go with the Denver Broncos first. It's time the rest of the NFL media, football fans, respect the Denver Broncos. I despise the Denver Broncos, partly because I don't like Sean Payton. However, that defense is absolutely phenomenal. The best defense in the NFL. I mean, the amount of times both teams had 10 penalties. The Broncos gave up way more yards in penalties, but the Chiefs' penalties came at key moments. And again, that's a discipline thing. That's a coaching thing. I've got onto other teams in the last couple of years on that because usually when it comes to crunch time, the Chiefs, they shore that part up. But it's been a big problem, not only this season, last season as well, um, on key downs where the offensive line are giving up penalties or just offensive penalties. And it's just extending plays, but it's making it very much harder. But again, going back to the game, that is an immense credit to that Broncos defense. I've sang their praises all season. That pass rush, especially just rushing with four guys, Benito, Allen, is it Cooper? And I can't remember the other guys. Bloody hell, credit to them. Credit to them. And if they break the NFL sack record, that's all I've got to say. And they won that game as well without their best defensive player, arguably the best defensive player in the NFL. Well, he's the reigning defensive player of the year, Pat Surtain the second. Myles Garrett's arguably the best defensive player in the NFL. And they were missing also a linebacker, can't remember his name, but missing J.K. Dobbins, who looks like he's out for the season as well, running the ball. So a lot of people thought, oh yeah, their offense has been arguably whack in most games this season. Bo Nix has taken a lot of criticism, and I think rightfully so, to be honest. But Bo Nix did outplay Patrick Mahomes, which is a weird thing to say, a weird thing to admit, but it's the truth. Nix was very composed in that game, made the big plays when he needed to, the big third down throws when he needed to as well. Very ballsy, and they were connecting, most of them anyway. So again, the whole Broncos team, just fantastic. And they're not fluking their way, because I don't think you can fluke this amount of wins when everyone's locked in, and especially when they're superb on one side of the ball. If it was like, they're just good on this side and mediocre or good on the other side, there could be some questioning. But we've seen them in the clutch, fourth quarter, their offense, Bo Nix, credit to him. They wake up, he wakes up. But their defense are keeping them in every single game, and they're not tiring out. They're not tiring out. They're making sure the offense has a chance to win the game in the fourth quarter. And that's what we're seeing. Can you believe the Broncos? If you said it at the beginning of the season, the Denver Broncos are going to beat both Super Bowl teams from last season. The Philadelphia Eagles in Philly, coming back from 17-3 down in the fourth quarter, and then beat the Chiefs. Forget where the game is. Mahomes before that game, he was 13-1 versus the Broncos. So forget where the game is. But again, like I said a couple of weeks ago, anytime I've looked at the Broncos on the schedule, I've always said, as much as Mahomes beats them down, or the Chiefs, I should say, they cause Mahomes problems. They have in the Chiefs wins the last couple of years, they've been causing Mahomes problems. And again, that continued yesterday. They only sacked him 3 times. However, the pressure, the pressure was immense. And we've seen this season, especially, like, it's not been easy for Patrick Mahomes handling the pressure, which is the case for most quarterbacks, all quarterbacks. Obviously, he's had times in the past where he's overcame that, and the great quarterbacks generally do, or have their spurts or moments. But that defense, super legit, super legit. Pat Surtain's going to be back, I believe, next game or the game after. So when you've got CB1 back, the team's flying high, mile high, that stadium. If they can get home field advantage in the playoffs, because now they've got to go for the 1 seed, then they're obviously not locked up the AFC West, but they're in a position where they should, because we don't know what the Chargers are going to be like. Obviously, they got absolutely beat down by the Jacksonville Jaguars. And then the Chiefs are 4 games back. So, yeah, it's 4 on the win column, I should say, 4 games back. It's not looking good. like for me personally. But it's looking great for the Denver Broncos. Um, in order for them to actually try and get that one seed in the whole AFC or the second or third seed. See, just make sure they've got at least one home playoff game, which is 95% likely at this rate. Now coming back to my team, the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas, I'm actually concerned. Kansas City, sorry. I'm concerned. Because last season when we were winning those one-score games, was it 10 we won last season, if I'm not mistaken? And got the NFL record for 17. Now this season we've lost all the one-score games. So we're 0-5 in one-score games, which you wouldn't believe. But again, sometimes that's just the way the cookie crumbles. The offense is scoring more points than last season, but again, going back to Patrick Lavon Mahomes II. You know I love you, my guy. I've been calling you the best athlete in the world, not in the NFL, not in US sports, in the world. That includes our national sport, football, soccer. In the world. I watch cricket as well. In the world. Patrick Mahomes is the best athlete in the world. However, Patrick Lavon Mahomes II. Brother, we need to get back to that MVP level. Because unfortunately, you've got to put the cape on. You have to put the cape on. For those that don't know, the cape is the Superman cape. It's pretty obvious. Pretty self-explanatory, actually, I should say. Because we need you. And the worst thing, Patrick, like, even in your baddish games, you're having good moments, but like, and then obviously in the games that are winning, absolutely fantastic. So like, you're actually playing well or playing better than you were last season. However, there's been arguably 3 key interceptions this season that have lost us games. The first one wasn't on you, but it's the pick against the Eagles. Obviously, that was Travis Kelce. Kels owned that. By the way, Kelce, but you've been fantastic last couple games. Or you've had fantastic periods. So no one can chat what's on Kelce. Again, Eagles aside, that game wasn't your fault. But the Jags game where Mahomes, you were absolutely you were fantastic. But that one key turnover, that pick 6, lost the Chiefs the game. And then yesterday's interception. Obviously, the pressure was raw and all that. Arm power didn't look there on that throw, but the Broncos went up the other end and scored. And obviously, Chiefs countered, scored again, but it was at least 3 points there that was left off the field for the Chiefs at that particular moment because it was obviously in the red zone. So it could have even been a touchdown. We've got to clean up on that, Patrick. We've got to. Don't get me wrong, like, I do feel you are the most pressurized quarterback in the NFL. Like, top quarterback, I should say, because of the fact the Chiefs haven't got a good run game. Which, Chiefs, coaching staff, obviously, the run game, whatever. I'm tired of talking about that. Guys that have been listening or hearing me, or watching me, sorry, or if you follow me on Twitter, I've been shouting about the Chiefs run game. But Mahomes and the Chiefs are the only top team, or one of the only top teams in the NFL that haven't got a run game. All the other great quarterbacks in the NFL have a run game or have a running back that should be fed to an extent. Like, I can't go through any top team right at the top of my head now and think, oh, who doesn't have a run game? And it's just more or less majority of the time, it's the Chiefs. And again, this is going back to the complacency. I said this last year when the Chiefs were on a winning run. Please, organization, do not take Patrick Mahomes for granted. Just because he's pulled things out the magic hat. They won the Super Bowl, won it differently when Tyreek Hill left. Obviously, he still threw 5,000 yards that season, won MVP that year, went back-to-back, won it again. Now, obviously, going for the three-peat, winning in different ways, different fashion. Everyone else is catching up. Everyone else is catching up. If your iron isn't as sharp, as they say, iron sharpens iron. The Chiefs have not been sharpening their iron. They've not. They've been complacent. Like, obviously, not getting Brees Hall on trade deadline day. Fair enough. It is what it is, isn't it? You get me? The Chiefs, the Jets wanted a third round. Chiefs only offered 4. I would have done it personally, but it is what it is. But the priority, now flipping to the other side of the ball, should have been a pass rusher. Should have been a pass rusher. And as great as the Chiefs' defense, or great on paper, I won't even say on paper, in terms of statistical wise, last couple years or last year, I've been saying, I said it last year as well, the Chiefs do not get to the quarterback enough, or they don't create enough turnovers. They don't create enough turnovers. And it's not good enough. It's not good enough. If the pass rush is not getting to a quarterback and quarterback's got all the time to throw, I've always said the Chiefs secondary is not great. It's good. Defensively, the Chiefs as a unit, defensively, they're good. But there's no wow. Obviously, you've got Chris Jones. But Chris Jones is getting older. And he's always getting double teamed a lot of the time and stuff like that. There is no wow factor on defense. There isn't. And I feel like in the back end, in the secondary, they lost that when Legero Sneed left. Obviously, Sneed's going through his own personal issues right now in Tennessee, and Titans fans aren't happy. That's a conversation for another day. But when Sneed was there, McDuffie could, do you know what I mean? The tandem was fantastic. Because Sneed could, obviously, they could switch in terms of wide receiver ones and all that stuff. But now, it's like, again, the Broncos game, it showed, and credit to Nix for taking advantage. When he had time, when he wasn't getting pressured, boom, can find his man. And there's only so much Spags can call on defense. So I hope this video reaches the Chiefs organization, Brett Veach, the general manager, the coaching staff, the game plan, both. It's just getting too vanilla. It's getting too vanilla. The offensive call playing is a cause for concern for me. It is. Not the overall play. I won't go that extreme in it. Like, you're not always going to be on a high every single week, every single year. I'm realistic. Do you know what I mean? I feel like I'm a realistic sports fan. But please, listen to me. Stop taking the greatest athlete alive for granted. Please, 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 please. Because Touchwood, he, like, especially in football, in the NFL, anything can happen in terms of an injury changing a trajectory of career, etc. But I've already touched with it. It's not going to happen. I don't want it to happen to any player in general across sports. But do not take Mahomes for granted. Please. Colts are up next. Colts are looking good. Jonathan Taylor, MVP candidate. Don't forget, just because they were on a bye this week, MVP candidate, Jonathan Taylor. But Chiefs, again, like I started off this video, that is nearly 20 minutes, you have my support. Hence why I'm not backing out, loud and proud. My enemies, my haters, come for me. Come for us, the defending AFC champs. Get me. That's my thoughts on that game. Let me go to Dege's team, the Bills, but they beat the Bucks. And that was a fantastic game. I believe I heard today that in terms of the score changes, that was the second most score changes in the last, I can't remember how many long. But yeah, most of that game, they said, what? You got a machine over there? We got an AK over here too. So credit to both the Bucks and the Bills for putting on a spectacle at the Highmark Stadium. Yeah. Josh Allen. I feel like I'm a Josh Allen truth teller. Jacob as well. Dej, yeah, you're a fan. So we won't put you in that bracket, you know what I mean? But Josh Allen, he put on that cape. He put on that Superman cape. And the reigning defending MVP, that was an MVP performance. I'm honest. That was an MVP performance. Not saying he's leading the MVP because he's still not for me, but he's put his name back in the mix with that performance. And I feel like with this particular Bills team, they just have to let him play like this now, man. Like, it's going to be risky, as we saw in the first half, with him having 2 interceptions. But then he finished the game with 6 total touchdowns, 3 passing, 3 running. He's arguably the only player in the league that can have those kind of games. Like, obviously, we know Lamar can, but we don't really see it like that anymore. But Josh Allen, he needed to have that game. The Bills needed every inch of his brilliance yesterday in that game. What a game, though. What a bloody game. And yeah, that was just, I feel like that's a very good confidence booster for the Bills, especially after losing to a divisional game to the Dolphins, which, again, was arguably for me, Josh Allen's fault or whatever, but that was a game where he said, hold on, wait a minute. That Chiefs win was not just because it was our Super Bowl. No. Let's beat another good team. Obviously, the Bills have had a favorable schedule, so they've not really had to face the top teams as much. But that was a great win against the Bucs. Absolutely great win. The team got together in the end and basically said, we're not going machine for machine. We're going to score, but we're going to stop you. So credit to the team. The Bucs, on the other hand, they're a fighting team. They've been going through injuries all year, and they've just got on with it. But I feel like they're hitting a little wall now at 6-5, and it's not getting any easier. Obviously, there's 3-game stretch of the Patriots beating them, the Bills beating them, and they've got the Rams next, who are arguably the best team in the NFC. Arguably. So, yeah. The Rams will go into that game as a favorite. The Bucs might be 6-6. Obviously, the Panthers are right on their case. Who would have thought that? Maybe only Jacob. Who knows? But, and my boy Ross. Ross, my guy. Panthers fan. Do you know what I mean? But, yeah, the Bucs, they need to start getting back to winning ways. And because of their run, even before they started losing as well, actually, Baker just started to slid down from the MVP race. He's still, for me, he should still be in and around in the mix. Obviously, he was leading it early in the season, but he's not anymore. And they just better hope they get really healthy as the season continues to progress. Because early on, they looked like they were one of the teams to get 1 seed in the NFC, but it doesn't look like that will be the case for them anymore. But again, credit to the Bills, credit to Josh Allen. Hell of a win. Hell of a win. Now, let me go to the Vikings v Bears game. And the reason why I'm going to this game is because I touched up on it in the Broncos-Chiefs game about Bo Nix and the fourth quarters, or just the Broncos and the fourth quarters. Caleb Williams and the Bears are somewhat similar. Obviously, Caleb and Bo, they're both second-year quarterbacks. This year in the fourth quarters, more or less, obviously not this game as much, but it's been a few occasions this season. Caleb Williams has been clutch in the fourth quarter. And the same for Bo Nix. They might not have great first 3 quarters, but bloody hell, we're not losing these games. And the flipping Chicago Bears are 7-3 right now. Who would have thought that? Top of the NFC North. The division from hell. So, credit to them. For me, they should have not won the game earlier, but they let the Vikings back in the game, and I was thinking, not again. But obviously, we saw game 1, first game of the season, when they were in complete control, and JJ McCarthy just put absolute spectacle in the fourth quarter. What is it with these first and second year quarterbacks? With these spectacles in the fourth quarters, they could have shambolic games, but then they bring it back. And they'll be like, yo, we got this dog in us. But yeah, that wasn't the case, because the Bears said, hold my Coke. He said, hold a minute. Get me, sorry. So yes, credit to the Chicago Bears winning that game. The Vikings, they'll be rightfully Vikings fans, I should say, will rightfully be being frustrated. We saw it with their best player, Justin Jefferson, who's just had, who's just been quite unlucky not having a very good quarterback consistently. Obviously, it's still very early in JJ McCarthy's career, but as of now, it's not looking that good. We know he's got that fighter in him. We've seen it before he got injured. Um, but yeah, it's just one of those ones. Yeah, two teams and other teams in the NFC, Giants Packers matchup. Do you know what? I've got on his case quite a bit of recent, because I still have my doubts. But Jordan Love, you came up clutch when you needed to. You came up big when you needed to. Sorry, because I don't think you were having the best of games. But you made that big play. I believe it was on third down, the big throw, running back. Get me? Um, and then obviously Michael Parsons. That's why they got him. That's why he's paid the big bucks, because he got to Jameis Winston when it really mattered. And some, Jerry Jones might not think it, but some will say that's what the Cowboys are missing. Because if I'm not mistaken, in the last 4 years, the Cowboys were the number one defense in pressures 2 of those 4 years. And that's because of that guy, number one in Green Bay. He was 11 in Cowboy Nations, but number one. He might not be a high sack total number, but pressure is real. But back to Jordan Love, that was big time play when it was really needed. Because I was just like, during the game, I was like, if the Packers, if Matt LaFleur gets fired, this is all on the Packers offense because their defense have been they've been brilliant most of the season. So scratch that. Offense, they've got talent on offense. They might not have great wide receivers, but they've got enough good wide receivers. They've got a quarterback that's been paid, a quarterback that's highly rated in terms of ability. I was like, and then obviously we're hearing speculation that Matt LaFleur may potentially get the boot, which might have just been speculation just because he hasn't been offered a new contract. But Matt LaFleur has been a great head coach since he's come to the league, I think, anyway. And if he was to go this season because of that offense, those players will need to take a really hard look at themselves in the mirror. But we're not getting to that stage, hopefully, because I like Matt LaFleur. I hope he stays there. Um, and yeah, big win for the Packers. Much needed win, especially coming off back-to-back losses, where they did not score a lot of points. Panthers was it 13, and then Eagles game was it 10-7, the 10-7 game because we started off last week's show with the 10-7s. So yeah, Jags Chargers. I mean, Trevor he didn't have a great game, but it was 35-6. You'd think, oh yeah, he was the dog's bollocks. English figure of speech there, and I mean, since the Jags play a lot of their games in London, but yeah, funnily enough, I saw before the game, I think a day or two before, the Jags posted on social media like they were looking forward to the Chargers. Because obviously, when the Chargers went to Jacksonville in the playoffs a couple years ago, and um, the Jags pulled off that incredible comeback, and I see some people saying, "Oh yeah, don't rile up the Chargers." Blah blah blah. Boy, they stood on business. The Jags, they stood on business. Herbert, brother Herbert, 81 yards. Yeah, 6 points. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, even the interception wasn't Herbert was getting ultimate pressure because his O line was out. It was just a bad football play, bad footballing play. So yeah, the Chargers obviously they're still in playoff contention, but with my team on there, that we're still 2 games behind to be fair. So let me not get ahead of myself on the win column. That is, um, when our when Chargers going to win that game, be 1 game, and then we got them at Arrowhead. What? Yeah. See, the Chiefs, you lot got me doing next kind of maths when I shouldn't be doing this, bruv. I shouldn't be. But anyway, yeah, credit to Jacksonville. That was a good win. That was a solid win. Very good run game. I think they had nearly 200 yards between Bhutan and ETN, if I'm not mistaken. So that was a hell of a win. Hell of a win. Uh, San Francisco 49ers. Brock Purdy is back. He's back. Yep. He said, Mac Jones, thank you. Thank you for looking after the team in my absence. However, I'm back. 19 for 26, 200-yard game, 3 TDs. Yeah. And then he's running mate, CMC. Do you know what? Yeah. You see Christian McCaffrey? I think I said early in the season, if he continues the way he's played, he may be involved in the MVP conversation. Because he had over 100, I think 120 scrimmage yards or something, so like 80 rushing, 40 receiving. But obviously, that's also dependent on the 49ers record. So they'd have to win all out for me for that to happen, them being 7-4 right now. But Brock Purdy's back. The offense just looked smooth. Obviously, I say it was only 200 yards, but do you know what I mean? They just, by halftime, that game was done for me. And then for quarter, they completely closed it down. Defense made big plays when they needed to. And then on the other side of the field, Jacoby Brissett, NFL record in terms of pass completions at 47. 47 for 57, 452 yards, 2 touchdowns, but 2 interceptions. However, NFL record, that is insane. Kyler Murray, yeah, obviously Kyler's on IR, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe ruled out for season. Even if we weren't, I don't think Kyler was going to play another snap under Jonathan Gannon, to be honest. And maybe no more for the Cardinals. So, yeah. Because the Cardinals, they've been a fairly good team to watch under Jacoby. Bar this week's beaten and last week's beaten. Both games over at halftime for me. So, yeah, I'm not really sure on that. Divisional game, AFC North. AFC North. For me, if the Browns had competent quarterback play, they would have won that game. They would have actually won that game for me. But yeah, first Dylan Gabriel, then he was out the game with concussion. And then Shador, not a good game from him. To be fair, on Gabriel, he looked pretty smooth. I think he was 7 for 10, nearly 70 yards or so. But Shador, 4 for 16 for 47 and 1 interception. Yeah, it's not good. It's not good at all. However, the Cleveland Browns are setting up Shador Sanders to fail. Yeah, I said it. They're setting up Shador to fail. Because I'm so happy that one of the Cleveland Browns reporters tweeted it. And then Kevin Stefanski actually said it in his presser after the game. Shador has had 0 snaps with the first team offense all season. And then obviously I was hearing on First Things First, Nick Wright and Greg Jennings both saying, oh yeah, that's normal, blah, blah, blah. Whereas on Nightcap, Shannon was like, bro, Shador should have had snaps. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Cam Newton's also said that there was, I think when he was a quarterback, the second string would have like 4 to 6 snaps with the first team offense and stuff like that. And I've seen many people say it's normal for a backup quarterback to have at least a couple snaps with the first team offense. Obviously, Shador had 0 in preseason. But this season, because Dylan Gabriel was an injury, weren't he on the injury list at one of the games this season? I might be wrong, but I feel like he was. From that moment onwards, you should have thought, okay, cool. Maybe we need to give Shador snaps, blah, 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 even if he's not going to play. Like, if Cam Newton supposedly said 4 to 6 snaps, what is wrong with that? What is wrong with that? Nick and Greg, they both said, oh, yeah, no, it's normal for the backup. No, brothers. And I love you guys. But come on, man. You can't tell me there's no way you're not giving Shador snaps. I'm not defending his play, by the way. But even supposedly, I was reading comments today, the O-line or one of the offensive linemen said they didn't know his cadence. and everything just had to be worked on the fly. I'm like, so yeah, he made some throws where his receivers didn't catch it. Awuzie for the Ravens made a big play, stopping one of those pass completions as well. So yeah, it was just one of those ones. But the Ravens, they did, as a team, they did what they needed to do. This is one of the few times I've seen Lamar Jackson not have a good game like that. If I'm not mistaken, it's the first game in Lamar Jackson's career where he's had 0 touchdowns but 2 interceptions. Um, one of them being a pick six as well, which was, yeah, he didn't look as assured all game. Um, Derrick Henry got over 100 yards. They needed that from him. And then the defense, regardless of the quarterbacks that they were facing, the defense stepped up. Their defense played really good. Kyle Hamilton even done Shadow's celebration. I loved it. I loved it still. And like him, Starks, and then Wiggins, he could be on hot and cold, but I'll tell you, that's some good core young players that the Ravens have got. So if the Ravens can continue flipping that switch like they did last year, obviously last year they went from like the worst defense to the outright best halfway through the season or onwards. And they seem to be turning the tide where they've been arguably worst defense to a solid to very good defense at the moment. Withstanding they've not played great teams as of yet in this run, but they're winning and they're doing what they needed to do. From 1-5, they're now 5-5, and they're still on job to win that division. Obviously, the Steelers won, but they better hope that Aaron Rodgers isn't out. On that Steelers game, Jamar Chase 100% deserves the 1 match ban that he's got. I saw before recording this. For me, I said at the beginning of the season when Jalen Carter spat at Dak, spitting incident should be 2 game bans in the NFL, not 1, because you need to further deter it. Spitting in any form of life, sports, whatever, it's the worst thing. It's absolutely horrendous. And for me, it should be a minimum 2 game ban. So it deters players from completely even thinking of doing it. And they should just give Jamar Chase an extra game ban because he lied and said he did nothing. These times it was caught on 4K, on 8K. And Jamar Chase, come on, man, you're better than that. Obviously, I know you're having a frustrating season, brother, but you're the best player on your team. You're the best wide receiver in the NFL. Regardless if your offense stinks or your team stinks, the leadership aspect, that shouldn't happen from you. You can be frustrated, but that, nasty. And Jalen Ramsey's like reaction, completely understandable. Completely understandable. Obviously, everyone thought he was in the wrong first until we got that video footage of him being spat on. Fully understand it. The NFL should even rescind his fine if they've given him one or if they're going to, because any spitting, any reactions deserve, bro. Anything. But yeah, that was just some nasty stuff. Heading back to the NFC. What division is this again? My mind's gone blank. Rams, Seahawks. Obviously, we spoke about 49ers, Cardinals in that same division. This was arguably the game of the week. Well, alongside the next game I'm going to do. But because both these teams were 7-2 heading into this game, both teams, NFC West, that's it. Wild West. Got it. The Rams defense, fantastic. And I've been loving the Rams defense from the later part of last season. Their young defense, they're continuing it into this season. They're continuing it. Absolutely brilliant stuff. Stafford didn't have a great game, but he was solid enough. Did no interceptions in that sense. And then Kyron Williams ran the ball well enough. They just it's those ones like, oh yeah, they got points on the board when they needed to, but the Rams offense didn't really do anything special. But on that, Stafford, going back to MVP, still number 1 in the MVP rankings for me. Like Drake May is answering that door. Jonathan Taylor is on. I feel they're still the same top 3. Apologies, Bills fans. Don't call me a hater. I've sang Josh Allen's praises, but I still feel that top 3 from what I had last week is the same top 3 this week. But the Seattle Seahawks, my gosh. Do you know what? In a loss, I'm going to say, what a team. What a fucking team. mind my language, excuse my French. What a team. Because Sam Darnold had 4 interceptions. Four! Four! Did he have a... And there was a strip. Oh, Sam Darnold had 5 turnovers, didn't he? Chat, correct me if I'm wrong. Look at me saying chat as if there's a live chat at the moment. There will be soon. And the fair play to Darnold, he still kept going. But those Rams DBs, boy, oh boy, just the defense in general. There was a play like um, I saw footage of it, but I remember the interception before the footage. Kobe Bryant's interception by the sideline on JSN was the receiver, and then shout out JSN, by the way, another 100-yard game. Go break Calvin Johnson's record if if you can, Megatron's record. But yes, Kobe Bryant done that same play on Sam Darnold, or basically same play last year when the Vikings played the Rams. And that's just film study. I was happy when they put that footage up because that was a brilliant play. But yeah, the Seahawks, I'm singing your praises in the loss because you should have arguably won that game. You should have arguably won that game. Like, absolutely dominated the Rams in terms of total yards. I think over 150 more total yards. Rams had about 250. Seahawks had just over 400. Obviously, passing yards double. Darnold easily doubled Stafford. Rushing yards, Seahawks just about edged that as well. So they literally, first downs, everything. Third downs, dominated. Like, time of possession, absolutely dominated. But the Rams showed they're a good, efficient football team. They're flipping efficient. Give them short yardage, they will punish you. They will punish you. They've showed that during this season. We know that Stafford's leading the NFL, not only in passing touchdowns, but in passing touchdowns within like the 5 yards of the goal line. Like, they're an efficient football team. So credit to them and their superb defense. And like I said, arguably the best team in the NFC. However, I'm going to say the actual best team in the NFC because I've called the Rams arguably the best team in the NFC, and I want to say they are. But the real best team in the NFC, I've mentioned them once in a slight negative fashion at the beginning of this episode, but it was just when I was hyping up the Broncos because the best team in the NFC and the best team in the NFL is the defending Super Bowl champions, the Philadelphia Eagles. Can't believe I'm saying it like that, but they are. They are the best team in the NFC. And I honestly don't care how they're winning. Don't care what people have to say. Because you see that Philly team? Full of dogs. Full of dogs. They do what they need to do. They do what they want when they're popping. You get me? And I said this last year when the Chiefs were winning these tight games, one-score games. Beat them. Beat them. And the Chiefs made the Super Bowl, bro. Obviously, Philly beat them. And they beat them bad. But the rest of the other teams, you still got to beat them, bro. And the Eagles are funny because when they're going through their dysfunction, aka AJ Brown, who's well within his rights to play some frustration, just the way he's going about it may not seem right. The team just get on with it and they win. They win. You get me? They're healthy throughout majority of the season. Obviously, Lane Johnson went out. If they have him back by the playoffs, they're good because they're easily going to run away with their division. And they arguably should get the 1 seed in the whole NFC, because the West, the teams still got to face each other again, beat each other up. Likewise with the North as well. So the 1 seed is full on there for the Eagles. Get that bye week. And I can't believe it. Like, during that Eagles-Lions game, you don't know me. I'm a Philly truth teller as well. But I wanted them to beat the Lions. Maybe that's partly because of the Lions radio hosts after they lost to the Chiefs. They were talking about that loss for like 5 straight days about this and that, blah, blah, blah. Mahomes shut the hell up, bro. And I actually like the Detroit Lions. I actually like their team, Dan Campbell, all that jazz. But the Philadelphia Eagles, they just do what they need to do when they run. to get wins. Like Hurts, it was another meh game throwing the ball. Saquon, another meh game rushing the ball. But do you know what? The defense said, "Don't worry, guys, we got you. Though. We got you. We had you lot against the Packers last week. 7 points. Detroit, come over. Another NFC North team, come over. 9 points. Scratch that. Get me. Eagles last 2 games scoring 26 points. You'll think, oh yeah, they've lost those 2 games. Nope, because they've only given up 16. Aye, defending Super Bowl champs. One thing about Philadelphia Eagles and Jalen Hurts, they're winners, man. Jalen Hurts is a winner. Whether you like it or not, he's a friggin' winner. So, yeah, like, and at no point did I feel like, I wouldn't say no point, but even late in the game, I was like, oh yeah, Lions they're still not gonna win this, are they? They're not. They tried, but yeah, Goff didn't have the best of the game. Because we know Jared Goff is like one of the past masters in completion, but he wasn't even not really close to 50%. Obviously, threw 250 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. The interception of the deflection and the ball hog or that great defensive player, Cooper DeJean. Boom. Just like I've sung the rest of the Eagles defense praise. That D-line, the backfield, fantastic, man. And the only pro or plus for the Lions in that game was Jahmyr Gibbs, who you don't know me. He's probably like my favorite player in the NFL. I just think he's bloody brilliant, bro. He's flipping superb. Like, he didn't have a great game rushing the ball. He said, don't worry, I'm going to catch the ball for you guys. I got you. What do you have rushing? What? 12 for 39. He said, scratch that. Pass me the ball. 5 for 107. And he's still 23. He's flipping dynamic. He's insane. So good, Jahmyr Gibbs. So good. But for me, the Eagles, they've showed the Lions and the Packers. They're like, listen, we'll shut you lot down. Go score more than us. And it's not happening. It's not happening. They're level above both those teams. Detroit ain't the same Detroit. They're still a very good team, but they're not the same Detroit of the last couple of years. Get me? But as long as they're in the mix, they're in the playoff mix, then they'll be fine. And they should get in there. But again, shout out the Philadelphia Eagles. We might not like the way they're winning, but you have to beat them. It's simple as that. They might not be impressive. That's how good they are. They're not that, they haven't been that impressive, but they're not losing. It took the superb game. In fact, the game before was it took the superb fourth quarter from the Broncos to beat them in Philly. And then the Giants game, when Scott would go for 3 touchdowns altogether in that game. Like, the Giants were just absolutely clicking that game. Do you know what I mean? That feel good factor. So yeah, it's just Philly. I feel like with Philly, I've come to if you can't beat them, join them. Like, I was actually supporting the Eagles last night and I couldn't believe it. Obviously, it was like, maybe it's because it was late night game, 2, 3, 4 game. You know, late night games in the UK don't finish till just after 4 o'clock. I was like, pre-game, I was like, I actually want the Eagles to win this game. And that, I can't remember the last time I felt like that. It was probably the Super Bowl against flipping the Patriots when Nick Foles beat Tom Brady. That's probably the last time I felt like that for them. But yeah, obviously I didn't touch up at the beginning, but the Thursday night game, Patriots, they just did what they needed to do. Drake May looking hella good. Stephon Diggs, he's taken real leadership at that organization, and it's just transferring through to the whole team. They seem super locked in with Mike Vrabel as well. The Patriots are, if some say they're the best team in the NFC, you can't. I mean, in the AFC, you can't really argue with that. They're a fantastic team. They probably are for me right now the best team in the AFC actually. Or even though the Broncos have Eagles and Chiefs wins on their schedule. It'd be interesting if those two face each other. Imagine they're the 1 and 2 seed. Oh, wow. Flipping now. Patriots are back. Texans, they're winning without CJ Stroud. Divisional game. So if CJ comes back, bro, they're 5-5. They might sneak into the playoffs. Obviously, it'll be at the expense of my Chiefs or someone, but why? I hope that's not the case. They got each other soon as well, actually. But fair play to them. Dolphins winning in Madrid, a la Madrid. Obviously, first game at the Bernabeu, Real Madrid Stadium, which is absolutely insane since the refurbishment. It was a great stadium beforehand, but with the refurbishment making it viable for NFL and other sports to take place, absolutely insane architecture technology work. If you haven't watched videos of how they did the Bernabeu, go check it out. And yeah, like I said, the Dolphins are on a little feel good factor, so credit to them on that one. Yes, I hope you guys enjoyed that episode. I hope you enjoyed watching me, listening to me in my, I won't even say it was a rant because I thought I was going to rant today. I just had to give some home truths to my team, but back my team, defend my team, and just support them. Hence why I don't think I've ever worn this jersey right after the Chiefs loss. I might be wrong. Usually that is never the case, but I made an executive decision, partly because I'm podding by myself. But yeah, Chiefs, Kansas City Chiefs. I hope this video is seen to you guys. You've got my support. You've got all of Chiefs Kingdom support. Let's make the playoffs. Once we make the playoffs, no one's gonna want to face us. Do you know what I mean? I've got my concerns, honestly, because the fear factor is probably going, but that's fine. It's a new challenge for the boys, new challenge for the team, for the organization. Everyone's got to step up, play their part. Get me? Got the Colts next. They're coming off their bye after their good win in Germany. So yeah, it's an interesting one. Week 11, fair. You caused some issues. Now I think about it, the Chiefs haven't won a game in November. Oh my gosh. Do you know what? Yeah, 2nd of November was my birthday. Chiefs lost to the Bills. I was out. Fair enough. 16th of November, that's my mom's birthday. Chiefs lost to the Broncos. These are two teams, probably the two teams in the AFC I dislike the most. The Bills and the Broncos. You man are trying to spoil my family birthdays, mine and my mom's. Alright, cool. Chiefs, watch you just heard what I said. You lot have lost 2 games on 2 key birthdays. First my mom's and mine. Nah. Turn that shit around. Get me, Chiefs Kingdom. Let's get this going. Thank you everyone for listening, tuning in. Spam those comments on all our socials, on YouTube, everything, and we'll try and respond as well. Please like and subscribe for a Different Lens podcast, whichever platform you listen or watch on. Please keep supporting me, Deji, and Jacob. And we will continue doing our thing for you guys. Obviously, we touch up on other subjects, but without fail, we'll give you our weekly NFL episodes because we love it. We love talking about it. Look at me, I'm up here. It's flipping 1:15 in the UK AM. I'm about to start watching the Cowboys Raiders game. That's why I'm looking up like that, because I just saw them doing the national anthem. And yeah, we'll just keep on delivering for you guys as we do. Which other UK show speaks about NFL like the way we do? Huh? Think about it. No one. And if you didn't know, I've been on TV last month on the NFL show, and I've won a trip to Philadelphia. Do you know what? Yeah, that's probably why I'm liking the Eagles again, because I'm going to Philadelphia next year off the game show that I was on, and our team won. So hopefully we get the week that we're going, we've got a Philly home game to go to. Who knows? I might wear an Eagles jersey. All right, let's not push it though. I don't think any of the other guys like the Eagles as well that I'm going with, so that's quite funny. But yeah, again, thank you everyone for tuning in, listening. And yes, it is I, Joe, all by myself, signing out. Dej and Jacob said, yo, in spirit, people, them blessings. Peace.